I went on a beautiful 10-mile journey to the west this morning. Although this image does not indicate it at all, I think at least 75% of the soybeans are out of the field. It's dry, it's hot, farmers are moving quick. Everyone will be focused on corn within the next week, if it's dry enough, which is why I'm over here to check this corn, see what the moisture's at. Spraying with the ground rig is nice because you leave nice little pathways to the outside of the field if you have to fill. The entire field is split between two hybrids, DeKalb 11135, which is 111-day corn, and then Pioneer 13777, the notorious tassel wrap hybrid. Even at this stage, you can tell the difference between the two hybrids. They don't have the same stature. One's got more upper leaf hanging on. The other one's pretty thin and narrow. Couldn't tell you which one is which without looking at a map. I'm not gonna do it. Just gonna pull some ears, a few uprights, a few downs, so we can gauge the moisture fairly throughout the field. I've got a really interesting trial on this farm. Standard rate of Mirvis Neo versus an enhanced rate, no extra additives. I wanted to see if bumping the rate an additional 20% provided better plant health at the finish. I've not ground truthed anything or done any manual tests. We're gonna go based solely on the combine monitor for however worthless that is. Tice Farms is already running this morning, 9:30. Early start for soybeans, must be dry. The elevator is 1 mile west of our farm and right next to Barker Implement in Middlesworth. Josh here has a lot of equipment on the lot of all sorts. He's probably one of the most successful and prominent independent equipment salesmen around, if not in a multi-state area. Big Landau dealer, one of the only remaining J&M guys since Sloan's does not carry J&M, Salford, tile plows, Elmer's, Wolverine ditchers, not the grain carts though. He's got it all. Look how cute that disc is. It's fun sized. Here are the moisture samples on the left, 13777 at 17.9, and on the right, 11135 at 16.3%. My morning brief said we weren't going to be picking any corn today. As I was greasing the mini excavator in the grain cart, the combine pulled out of the field, and here we are, picking corn. I don't know the moisture, but I'm supposed to run it for a while. And the Curries are next door, cutting some beans. This is right next to Mom and Dad's house. They're to our south here. Their row of pine trees has slowly diminished over the last decade. I don't know why. Either dry weather, herbicide, something. You can see a little gap where a bunch of them are missing. Pretty much everything has been serviced on this. We oiled the chains, tightened the feeder house drive chain, clean grain elevator, everything's been tightened up. I cleaned the rear window here a couple days ago. It's nice being able to actually see in the grain tank. The row feeler's not gonna guide me? What's going on here? Hand steering a combine in today's day and age? That's criminal. Moisture's running anywhere from 12 to 17. This is surprisingly dry. Planted the 17th of May. DeKalb 6618 and Pioneer 112 or 12065. It's kind of a clean out special. Those are what we had in the barn, so that's what got split here. Combination of decent dirt and horrible dirt, so yield could be anywhere. I picked my third and probably last hopper since Katie's here. That one averaged 15.25% moisture, yield if it's even right, 225. It's been low for the first couple hundred acres of corn we picked. It doesn't mean it's low now, it could actually be high. That's how this active yield system works. It's reliably unreliable. Bolts loose? Doesn't look like I got hit by anything. Those two bolts must have just never been tightened and they finally rattled loose. I was concerned that I did some damage, but that another blistering hot day out. Air conditioning is on max. Some fields are just slow based on how God made them or how they were subdivided over the years. This is one of them. Curries are across the road. They're loading their truck as we speak. A lot of farming going on here in Paradise.
Look across the top of the corn right here. Every 24 rows you can see the different corn hybrid. Very noticeable in the upper part of the canopy. One is kind of a denser looking corn, and the other is a little thinner. It doesn't have any yield implications, that's just what's going on.
The Elmer's 1300 cart doesn't really seem that large when you're walking alongside it. Then you get up here and look down in there. It can hold a lot of bushels for its size. I really love how compact it is. With dry, heavy corn, we've had 1,400 bushels on it. I think you could actually get more. Test weights this year have not been tremendous. We're topping out at 59, where some years, certain hybrids... What the heck is that? I don't know what that bug was. Sorry, it looked like some kind of Terminator Wasp combination hybrid. A lot of times, if we have a good finish to the season, we see 61, 62 pound corn per bushel. Essentially, test weight is just how much a volumetric bushel weighs. That's not what we have this year. Real dry finish. I don't think we filled as far as we normally would because a lot of the corn died early, is what it is. Still yielding decent on this field.
That 4-foot wide strip that I didn't replant has some nice healthy water movement. There's no replacing it for the growing crop. Herbicides just bridge the gap between bare soil and canopy. If you don't have good canopy, there's still not a silver bullet.
Keeps the records a little cleaner if you empty out in between fields. This bin should be getting close to full, maybe room for another 2,000 bushels. Once I'm empty, I'll climb up there and look. I need the exercise, and this air-conditioned cab is spoiling me a little bit today. I did some two-handed activities up top. Spout was kind of thrown to the back. You lose some storage capacity if your pile's not centered. I moved it to the front. The old shiver system on top makes it really hard to position the augers. That's why we have those downspouts, because you can't put the auger directly over the hole. It's blocked by the shiver system we don't use. Don't worry, when we put up the leg and the continuous flow dryer you guys have been bugging me about for 5 years, we won't have to worry about that anymore. Although it doesn't make any sense to build a leg and a dryer to fill bins that all have shoddy concrete underneath them. We probably ought to take care of the foundation first. The patch behind my dad's house has officially been harvested. We didn't set any productivity records. It is done, and every field you check off the list is one less to worry about later. It yielded 238 wet at 16% moisture, so dry probably 236, maybe 235. I'm happy with that, especially because I'm the one who planted this monstrosity of a field. This little plot is an old feedlot, if you can't tell by the bunk right there and the row of harvestors that is down to just one. No one wanted that one. They took the other 4 If I understood the story correctly, we actually traded these 4 harvest stores for those bins down there in a roundabout way. Maybe we sold them and used the money to build these bins. Some of those are really old. I think they're 40 or 50 years old. That's why the concrete isn't that good. The foundations that long ago weren't great to begin with, and I think there's some other things that could have probably been done better. That is about 2 times before my time. This was just pasture for a long time, and then we planted it into continuous beans for quite a few years, at least a decade. It's the first time it's gone in corn. Has nothing to do with economics. Helena just accidentally put anhydrous on it when they were doing this field, so we figured we might as well plant corn. According to my very non-intrusive glance at the operations center, the DeKalb 6618 beat the Pioneer 12065 by about 2.5 bushels an acre, maybe slightly more. Again, that's yield monitor data. At that difference, I wouldn't really call that a conclusive victory. You really need to see big spreads to justify dominance from one hybrid versus another, like the previous field that we started on a week ago, where the 14830 Pioneer got absolutely steamrolled by the DeKalb 6835 by 30 bushels. The data from that field is worth more because we actually weighed some trials too, so we know it's true. This is just combine yield monitor data, only as good as the operator and the spots in the field where the hybrid was planted. No, Katie's not in 2 places at once. Dad took over in the big combine. I've never seen us work stalks this close behind the combine. My only guess is Dad doesn't want the leaves and chaff blowing into his yard, so he's trying to pin it down with the vertical till. Other than that, I couldn't give you a good idea of why we're working ground right now. It's above my pay grade, like many things. The 2660 is doing a pretty good job chewing up this field, especially because it was literally just harvested 15 minutes ago. Might be set a tad bit deep. There goes 45 minutes we're not going to get back. Luckily, I'm paid by the hour, so it doesn't really matter to me. If anything, slowness is to my benefit. I had already gotten up there and adjusted the spout and tied it to the west edge because the pile was on the northeast corner. If it's not centered, you'll hit full and start running out the eave before the bin is technically full. It's the problem with these augers is getting them center in the bin, especially when you have an obstruction over the top. He obviously didn't agree with the way I did it. With all due respect to my dad, he's also one of those guys where if it's not done exactly the way he thinks it should be done, it's wrong. Right or wrong, he's the boss, so we just kind of sit back and shrug our shoulders sometimes. Looks like it'll hold at least one more load. We're gonna pick an in-row off of another field. Planted around the same time as this. It's Pioneer 13050, supposed to have really good dry down, and the farm we're going to is very dark. Very rich, productive soil. I'm expecting the moisture to be dry. Look at those foundations crack, crack, crack. You can see it in the bin floor. Big crack on that one. Another crack there. There's a crack we tried to patch with Quikrete on that bin. They're deteriorating. I don't know if they used lower quality cement back in the day. Perhaps the mixes weren't as sturdy as they are today. Maybe they didn't pour a deep enough foundation, or the packing material underneath wasn't great. There's the 48 footer. Look how big that crack is. It could also just be age. I think the useful depreciation life of a grain bin is like 40 years. Or at least that's what All About Farming James Piper says. Here's the new bin. Look at that foundation. 1.5 feet tall, and they pour a bigger foundation underneath. It also happens to be $30,000 worth of concrete work on that bin. Apples to oranges, maybe. Even those small government bins have cracks, like where the outauger is, the foundation is cracked right in half. Dad pulled into the field, picked a little bit. Now he's turned around and headed out. I don't know what that means. Too wet?
21.
I'm not sure he was being truthful with the 21% moisture. We're just trying to finish the bin. I don't know if we'll pick a lot of this field. It's not even yielding. 0. I don't know what's going on. There we go. 600 bushel corn, 1,200, 0. Nothing. 980, 600, 360. We're coming for you, David Hula. Folks, it's been a long day here on the farm. It's time to unplug. Before I crash out, I've got one last thing I've been trying out lately that I've really enjoyed. This stuff's called AGZ. It's from the same folks that make our beloved AG1, which I've been taking in the mornings for quite a while now. But AGZ is focused all on the nighttime routine. It's basically the wind down version. It's a melatonin-free mix with adaptogens, herbs, and minerals that help your body naturally ease into rest. I like it because it doesn't really knock you out. It just helps you unwind after a day like this. Each serving has 250 milligrams of highly bioavailable magnesium, and it's NSF certified for sport, which basically means it's tested for purity and quality. This is the mixed berry. There's a few different flavors. There is a chocolate flavor that would pair very well with warm milk, get you that cocoa and earthy tone. I wish the weather would stay like this year-round in the evenings. About 65 degrees, a nice breeze outside, just enjoying the ambiance. Cats are circling around me, the dogs are being crazy, and we're just having a nice sip to calm us down. Hey, yes, oh, it's nice to see you too, thank you. Can I have some AGZ? I think you sleep good enough already, my man. We need to keep you awake so you can guard this place. If you're really looking for the full package, you would start your day with a serving of AG1 like we've been doing here for a couple of years and finish it with the new AGZ formulation. If you are ready to turn down the stress and maximize your rest, now's the time to try it. If you head to drinkag1.com/aTrippyFarmer, with your first order of AGZ, you will get a free frother. Anecdotally, I've noticed improvements just in the first week I've been trying this out. If you're looking to try something new in the evening, AGZ may be just what you need. Thanks to AG1 for sponsoring today's video. Now back to the action. There are 3 more corn bins here to fill at the main farm, probably 75,000 bushels of dry storage. I just helped set to the south one this morning, and we've got that small Shivers drying bin, doesn't hold a whole lot, and the north 36 footer. We are done with the S670. It's going into Sloan's, or someone's borrowing it. I didn't get the whole story. Dad just told me to take the monitor out of it. We've blown it off, and I am going to take this out. I can put it back on my sprayer. We can put it on a gator, remap some fields, or do a lot of things. I have a few boundaries that need redone. It's a conversation for a different video. We're going to take this little thing out since we're done. It took an entire 20 seconds. Unplug 2 cables, the JD Link modem and the main data connection. She's free. It seems like we moved through soybean harvest really fast this year. We definitely did. A lot of it is having those March beans that we were able to cut early before a lot of people were running, and we lost that big chunk of ground last year that we were farming. We're over-equipped as it is. We were over-equipped for what we were farming last year. This season, we're even more over-equipped. We just have a lot of equipment, for better or worse. From a balance sheet perspective, yeah, we're probably not utilizing our assets that well. In terms of overall financial health, I don't think it makes a difference. The year-to-year, acre-to-acre, crop-to-crop farm economics aren't good. It's just good to own land. That's what's held us up for so many years. Not a lot of money in actually growing the crop, but there is money in owning the land and growing the crop. But most of the money is in owning the land. You get the landowner's share of the rent, the crop share, and you get the asset appreciation over the course of decades. That's been pretty tremendous here in the last 20 years. I say that as if I had something to do with our success. I can't really take any credit. I do consider myself a part of the future legacy, yet what we've done to get to this point, I've really had nothing to do with. I'm just a farmhand here. Dad went to go get his morning drinks and snacks for the combine. I went and started it up, looked it over. I noticed the signs of an oil leak here and down around here. You see all that grime? This seal was popped out a little bit. I think that there was some buildup behind it. Looks like if we just snap it back into place and also probably add some more oil to the gearbox there, the chain area, should be good. There's still oil in there, probably not enough though, so we'll try to reseat this, seal it back up, and hope that does it. We've been doing a lot of jumping around. When it's possible, we try to limit the amount of commingling in bins. Even with accurate scales, it's just less record keeping. We're picking on Dad again today, set up to that south 48 footer, the new one at the main farm. Terraces here, yields off a little bit as I expected, just not that great of ground, especially for the season. We were able to fire up pretty early. Curries were cutting beans by 9:15. With all of the neighbors and people around I've seen cutting by 9:30, I don't think there's much moisture coming up anymore. Even after having 2 inches of rain, we're back to bone dry. The soil is so dry that it's sucking it up like a sponge. There's a few days of latency for rain to dry out. Once it does, it's gone. Back to burn bans and everything into effect, big fire hazard territory. We're trying to keep the machines blown off, but we got to keep harvesting. We can't let dry weather stop us. The low profile of the Hallmaster really shines on a farm like this, especially combined with the higher angled unloading augers on the newer combines. You can pick safely over terraces without having to worry about mashing the unloading auger into the grain cart. One should definitely still tread lightly. It's just not as much of a concern as it used to be. I really enjoy how low this cart sits, especially given that it fits over 1,300 bushels, if not more. We're about to go over a terrace right now. Katie will slow down a little bit just to not run the head into the ground. Wasn't even worth sweating about. Sometimes angles make more of a difference than straight inclines. The combine's at an angle and the cart's in a low spot. It can be more of an issue than just both of you going over a terrace perpendicular at the same time. This field finished up at 230 dry. I think that's a decent yield for this farm for this year. 230 pays the bills, even at $4. Oh, I accidentally lied. It is one more acre than I divided by. It actually made 222 dry. It's not a big farm, still okay yield.
This is another one of those small fields, low productivity, surrounded by trees. It is DeKalb 6422. Combine shows it making 200. The ears I pulled here, opened up, actually look good. I can't imagine the whole field looks like this because the yield would be higher. I mean, if every single corn plant had one of these, it would be 300 bushel corn. I have to be in just a better spot. Even your worst fields, like this one, typically have high and low spots. It's just the average across the board is much lower. Small fields with trees, they don't yield well, especially when it rains a lot.
Clearwater is the water treatment cooperative that pulls water a mile to the southwest off of one of our other farms where I had the March 13th planted beans. Pump it all the way across here, treat it, and then distribute it to, I think, 1,000 customers maybe, or households. The DeKalb 6422 on this farm ended at 210 dry bushels an acre. Historically, one of our lowest yielding farms, especially on a dry year. We knew what to expect. (16 to 17% moisture, yielding in the 210s at least. The hybrid in this field is Pioneer 13050. I expected a little bit more out of it. For whatever reason, this field just never yields for how dark of ground it is. Here comes the cart. I'm betting it's Katie driving. I got my 30 seconds in for the day. Dad's back. I don't recall if I mentioned or not, we have Pioneer 13050, really black dirt, great organic matter, great soil tests, good pH, just never really a yielder for whatever reason. I could be completely wrong once we get to the end. It's a field that's always just been a great mystery to me. It has everything lined up to be one of our best. It just never ends up any higher than the middle of the pack. Could be drainage related. Maybe it has something to do with subsoil. I know there's that aquifer and gravel vein underneath us, possibly causing more drought stress, even though the topsoil is very dark. Oh, wish I had a blaster with me. He's not even concerned about us. Pow pow! This guy's civilized? Look at him, he's just like, hey, yeah, I was asleep there, but okay, no big deal. I'll go get a rabbit. Oh, is that a Hallmaster grain cart? Hold on a minute. Stopping to take a leak in a female position. That may be a lady coyote. Hey, I don't judge. Sometimes when you wake up, you gotta take a leak, and it looks like this lady also had to do a number 2. It happens. This coyote is unbothered by me. Oh yeah, I'm just out strolling. Yeah, okay. Well, we get one nice look at that hallmaster. Pretty neat. Pretty neat. It's never the ugly ones that are on the ground. It's always the nice ones. We're finished up here. I think that'll probably be it for tonight. Putting the last little bit straight onto the truck. The final tally on that field is 232 wet at 17% moisture average according to the combine. That is probably 226, 227-ish dry. I don't know what is wrong with that field, why it doesn't yield better. One would think on a year like this, a swampland like that should be phenomenal. We may have to dissect that, look at the soil tests. Perhaps there's something we need to do more advanced than just our general pH, P and K, and nitrogen, because I don't think on both corn and beans we ever have tremendous yields for whatever reason. Here are the soil tests for this farm. Let me know what you think. If anything stands out, pause, rewind, whatever. Our base nutrients are good. Hunter at Helena said maybe zinc and boron or something that could be holding us back. I'm not a soil balancing expert. Let me know what you see if anything seems like it would be a yield dragger on this farm. For reasons I might discuss later, I was an hour and a half, 2 hours late to work this morning. Unfortunate deal last night. We've got some corn to pick though, so we will talk about it some other time. We're really boosting the morale by picking all of our worst fields first that are dead. Again, this is another terrible farm. It's okay, but you watched it die 3 weeks early, so you know you lost a lot of test weight, which ultimately means yield. The yield monitor is starting to look very sad on this farm. A lot of mid 100 bushel yields, 150. It says the average is 200. It's going to drop really fast. We had decent potential looking at this ear just from the outside. When you crack one of them open and look at the kernels, those are probably 50% of the size of a normal kernel. I think we lost more than 5 to 10% from premature death. On this farm, if it died 3 or 4 weeks before black layer, it could be 25% off, easily. This isn't a good farm, I've said that. One of our worst, and we've been in a lot of bad farms today and yesterday. Just much, much lower than I was expecting. If this field makes 175, you'll barely cover the inputs and the property taxes. There's a little bit of margin in there on top of that. Thankfully it's family owned, so it's hard to lose money when you own the ground and it's paid for, but it's not going to be the most profitable field. Here are the kernels next to a pencil eraser. Wow, they are small. Turns out you need rain, especially on ground like this. Here comes a train. What's on it? Hopefully cash delivery straight from Trump himself. Nope, just the Union Pacific. Hauling some kind of tanker. It's always hard to miss when someone's out spreading lime. Nice and dusty. This corn is going to end up worse than I expected. First time I've said that in probably 5 years. field I'm thrilled about. The field made 187.5 dry bushels an acre. The outside and a little bit of the start was DeKalb 6422. The rest was Pioneer 13050. It died early. I've driven by this field for weeks, almost daily. When your corn shouldn't black layer or reach physiological maturity until the second week of September, and it's brown the second week of August, yeah, you're in trouble. Lenny's helping this afternoon. We may not have great yields, but we've got good company.
Because we're going to a cornfield.
Yep, going to a cornfield. Finish in a bin, gonna fuel up, and then move over west about 10 miles.
Do you mean 80 miles?
That's a lot of miles.
I mean 9 miles.
9, that sounds a little more reasonable.
How about 1 mile?
That's pretty close. We drove a mile just from home to here.
We're super far. See how far we are? We're super far.
Our home's just right up there.
That's pretty far.
Maybe to walk. In a tractor, it's not. We've got air conditioning, massaging seats, dry erase markers. What more could you ask for?
Dry markers. I'm opening the thing. I'm putting on the dog mode. Is it dodging already?
These turn on the massagers.
Is it comfy or not?
Whoa.
I turned it on.
Okay, you're gonna have to drive. I'm gonna take a nap.
No. No, turn it on. See? Hold on. No, you can't kick a nap. I turned it off.
Me. Who's messing with my seat? I was trying to take a nap.
You can't do it, Jay. Did you know what happened? Then I'll turn back.
Oh, massaging seat.
Yeah, I'll turn it turned back off.
Who's messing with my seat?
Hey, you don't do it.
You're messing with my seat. How am I supposed to operate this tractor if I'm not in complete luxury? I spy something white.
Like that.
The semi-truck?
Yes.
Yep, that's what I was looking at.
Can I find the pink?
Pink?
Yes.
Oh man, I don't think there's any pink in here. Is it on your shoes?
No.
No. There's no way that. But what about this shirt?
No, I thought it's a pinkish color, but not that color.
It's a pinkish color, but not that color. I'm gonna need a hint. Can you give me a hint?
A hint, yes. And it's a blue and red.
Blue and red. Thank you. That's pink. I thought that was purple. Lenny, this should finish off the small bin we're working on. Calculated yields right now are right around 200 bushels an acre. That's the inrows. It typically gets better in the fields.
It's a dirty day. Now I can't die of poop in your bed.
No, don't talk about food.
Yeah! Run! It's dog time! They're fucking resting forever! I'm talking about Minecraft. Boom! You're gonna get it around. We're gonna do Project Customer.
Check this out. My Hallmaster remote. Removable, magnetic.
Can I have it?
No, definitely not.
Why?
Because you can make a big old mess.
Why? What's it with that thing?
Just drive straight. Lenny's getting his practice. We're heading back up to the bin site through the fields. Gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, we don't got cats here.
It's a little bit rough.
I had to make the wood like that.
It's gonna fall apart, Lenny.
It's okay. It's made out of its own thing. It's made out of metal. There. Open it all the way in there.
That's where we're headed.
Yeah.
See the bins and the red auger? Take us that way.
What's the red auger? auger. That thing?
The red auger's on top of the bin. That's what's loading the corn into it. If we take just long enough, we won't have to help take it down.
Yeah.
Good idea, right?
We could date them. Like in that thing. How do you get more money, right, Daddy?
Get more money by saving the corn in the bin?
Yes.
Hopefully. Sometimes we lose money.
Why?
That's a great question.
I know, because you pay.
You pay? Yeah, that's a pretty good synopsis of what's going on.
Yeah. You run out because you pay with it, and you will have any more if you have more.
You've got a better financial mind than 80% of America, it sounds like. Looks like you're a little wild and loose with the markers, though. What do you got on your left hand? Were you doing some arts and crafts this morning?
Yes.
That's okay. That happens.
I didn't know anything.
Will you tell everyone what we're doing? We're fueling up the combine.
Good, the combine. We're going. We're going.
Perfectly full. I can see the corn on the side door. I'm assuming it's not running over the backside.
One.
Oh, now it's recording. All right, what's your name?
One.
What's your favorite thing to do on the farm?
Work and play.
Work and play. And what'd you say for snack is today?
Poop.
Poop?
Do you help your
That's
dad
gross.
farm?
Yeah.
How old are you?
4.
You're 4?
4?
Oh, man.
Wow.
What do you get paid per hour?
$10.
$10?
Can I work for
You
you?
didn't ask Daddy for a raise.
I'm having a hard time wrapping my mind around how this corn planted the middle of May is this dry the 2nd of October. It's just not making much sense. It could also be the 3rd of October. What day is today? The 2nd of October. Usually corn is still upper teens, if not low 20s. Like we're seeing with the yields, had to have just died early. I can't make any other explanation of it. The first field is opened up. We are going to come back with all the troops tomorrow and hopefully pick some good corn. So far, I've weighed off 246 bushel an acre corn. I expect it to get better as we go north and probably get worse as we go south, all based on soil type. I'll check in with you guys tomorrow. I forgot to mention what slowed me down this morning. Yesterday, after we finished the last field, the combine came here to this 2-acre patch just west of my house to pick it. A very unfortunate series of events unfolded. The 3 remaining kittens that are now basically cats were out in the fields. Dad was picking, he wasn't going too fast, and just out of bad luck, when he finally spooked them out, one of them got trampled by something. I don't know what, if it was a stalk stomper or a tire. It was not gruesome, but it definitely was fatal, if not in the short term, in the long term. Lenny's with me, so I don't want to go into too much detail. There were no exterior wounds, but the poor cat drug himself out of the field by his front paws. We thought he wouldn't make it through the night. He did. Very evidently physically distressed. Allie and I made the call that the most humane thing to do was to take him into the vet and have him euthanized. I don't have a better set of words for it than that. It seemed like the best outcome given the scenario. No one's at fault. Dad didn't maliciously get him with the combine. There's much more brutal ways to get ended by a combine than ran over. It was extremely tragic to watch because we were all sitting there on the back end of my house in the sunroom with all the windows watching them. We saw 2 of the cats run out, and it was funny at first because you saw how scared they were. Then when Nigel, the 3rd one, who also had become my favorite of the remainders, drug himself out very impressively by his front paws. It's just not good. It is the nature of cats. I think that's why God made them reproduce so quickly. They are prone to sudden and brutal termination at times. We're all definitely a little bit sad about it. Life does go on, and there's much worse things that could happen to people than losing a relatively insignificant pet, no matter how much it tugs at your heartstrings. Lenny and I have dug a hole. We're going to put the dogs in tonight, let the two siblings and the mother cat, get a chance to see him because he's been passed since this morning. I had him put up so he didn't get pestered by the dogs or other insects. We're gonna bury him tonight. Rest in peace, Nigel. You were my favorite. I'm not gonna say I wish it was the gray cat who assaulted me when I took him to get fixed, but that would have been a much less disheartening loss than this one, because he was our favorite. Rest in peace, Nigel. You got anything to say about Nigel?
Nigel was the bestest.
He was the bestest.
And Darkat.
And Starcat. Starcat passed away a couple months ago. She's buried out here in this unmarked graveyard. Lenny enjoys digging holes. Not sure if that's good or bad.
Good.
It's good.
We'll get rid of all the dust.
When we put Nigel and his body in his box in there, we'll cover it back up, put some grass in it, and he'll go back to be with the earth. His body will, but his soul will be with Jesus and the other cats.
Oh.
If we are lucky enough to not have any breakdowns and the elevator a mile to the west keeps up, it should be a really productive day of picking corn. We've got 3 trucks, 3 drivers, 240 bushel corn, just guessing. I think we're gonna peel this one apart pretty fast. It's gonna be a workout across the board. Trucks are already lined up, one's full, combine's full. I think this will test our logistics. Dad always likes to load the cart and then quit for the night. He starts picking first thing in the morning before we've even loaded the truck. It doesn't give us any kind of leeway in the timing of the trucks. I can't reiterate enough how much of a difference a big, fast unloading cart like the Haulmaster makes. Speaking of which, they have a bunch of demo carts they're running through Illinois, mine included. Once we're done with harvest here in another 7 or 10 days, they will pick this up, send it around to some other farmers, and they already have a few others actually running around the state. They have a really good discount program on these demo carts. By the time you see the video, your opportunity to demo a cart has probably expired, assuming you're done with harvest, but they will have a handful of these carts discounted at very competitive prices. If you're in the market for a cart, I highly recommend you check out their demo lineup. They're lightly used. We've hardly run any bushels through this compared to some farms, and I think you'd be really happy with it. Yep, got the trucks on the first loop. I don't think it's our fault either. The elevator's just not getting trucks dumped very fast. Maybe we have too high of expectations.
I'll be back in 5 minutes.
We've got the scoop. They plugged the leg at the elevator. That's what is holding us up here. Katie just got here. She's gonna take the 3rd truck. Couple more miles east, probably 5 miles to the Windsor TGM elevator. They have a smaller satellite elevator called Middlesworth. The town or area is called Middlesworth, right next to Barker Implement and up the road from Sloan's over here. We are trying to go there because it's close. Jeff is loaded at Middlesworth and he's headed to Windsor, so he's going 3 miles out of his way by the time he traveled there and back to the field. Now he's going east to Windsor. Bad start to the day, even though I drove by the No Bad Days farm instead on the way here. I thought that was a good omen, but maybe it wasn't. The Windsor elevator is out of our way, but they're dumping fast enough that I think the trucks are getting back quicker. We picked a nice little chunk, except the older semi, the 9400, is having some kind of power problems. Katie's stranded up the road half mile. Dad and I are gonna go see what's going on. It's always when you get moved away from home, things start to go wrong. Never when you're right next door. It just leaves. He didn't say a word. He just didn't tell us what to do. Are we supposed to stay here? There's nothing visibly wrong with the truck. It's got fuel. It's not dying like it's got a fuel restriction. It's severely limited on power, if not moving, none. It's escalated beyond our expertise. We were gonna drive it to the service guy we use south of Mattoon. Jeff doesn't think it'll make it that far, at least not today, based on how it's driving. We're gonna pull the truck and trailer in the field, unhook the trailer, and have S&S bring their tow truck, take it back to their shop and look it over. The truck has been running a little bit hot. The radiator's been blown out, washed out multiple times. The heat has been an issue, yet it is cooling off. Katie said it was running a little warm going loaded to the elevator, and on the way back it was dropping back to a reasonable 210 to 215 water temperature. We've got no idea what's wrong with it. We don't have the technology to pull the codes on it. It was Katie, not Dad. She's used to having the camera like the other combine. We need to get one on this one. Just spin the coin and be able to tell when you're about to run it over the top. There are two fields here, both owned by different members of the family. The north field averaged 248 dry according to the grain cart scales. The combine moisture said the field made 17% or averaged 17% moisture. The truck drivers claim that the highest ticket that they were probed at was like 16 and change. Jeff said his last load was 14.5%. It tells me that our combine is reading high on moisture. We need to do some calibration on that. And our yield monitor may be influenced by that. Ironically, the active yield has somehow gotten close on yield. If I showed 248 dry, it was showing 250. For whatever reason, it's reasonable now versus it being off 15% earlier in the year. That's decent corn, 248. I'll take that any day. It feels a lot better than picking 180 bushel corn back around home on some challenging farms. A great debate Dad and I always have about farms like the one we just harvested is the accuracy of acres at the FSA office or the Farm Service Agency versus GPS-based acres. The FSA has that last field as 81 acres, maybe it's 82 acres. Every time I plant it, spray it, doesn't matter, harvest it, the GPS systems, which are extremely accurate, show 85 acres in the field. We have that on a few fields. I don't know where the discrepancy comes from. Regardless, those numbers make a big difference for your yield calculation. I use the 85 because I trust the computers and the application equipment to record better than the FSA to estimate on their own. If you use the 82 acres like my dad does, that makes that almost 260 bushel corn. Whereas I use the 85, brings it back down to upper 240s. Both numbers are technically right in their own way. One definitely sounds better than the other. I just don't know which one is actually true and what one you use when you're telling your buddies the yield. Most people use the lower acres because it always makes the yield higher. It really doesn't matter that much for harvest because you come here with trucks and then you harvest till the field is gone. All the crops are off the field. But when you show up with like a sprayer or a planter with just enough seed, if you bring 82 acres worth of chemical and the field acts like 85 acres, you're not going to have enough. It's on the crop input side of things where you validate these acreages. And again, I think it's 85 acres. Dad says it's 82 because that's what the FSA says. Technically, the gross output of the field is still the same. You had 20-some thousand dry bushels of corn off of it, where the dividing factor is all that changes. I don't know. Have you guys ever seen that on your farms? Definitely something I keep an eye on and keep updated in my system, so I always have the right amount of chemical or seed wherever I go. It was inevitable. We caught the trucks. The lack of a third operational logistical vehicle is killing us. They're doing a pretty good job keeping up. Just every once in a while we'll catch them. I was almost asleep about 30 minutes ago waiting on them. Servicing everything, cleaning it up. I don't think we're going to get as much done as I'd hoped just because trucks can't keep up. It's not their fault. 4 trucks would probably be too much just from a financial efficiency standpoint. 3 was going to be perfect until the 3rd one breaks down, so you almost need a 4th one at the field. If you've got the extra help, might as well have the trucks with trailers. If we had 40-foot aluminum grain trailers that could legally hold another 100 plus bushels of dry corn, it wouldn't hurt either. They all add up at the end of the day. I always think of that extra 100 bushels like every 9 loads, the 10th load is free, versus these trailers where I'm probably legally maxed out at 900, maybe a little over 900 dry bushels. Bigger, lighter trailer would be capable of 1,000. We could put 1,000 on these trailers, it just wouldn't be legal. We've already got an update from Todd at S&S. The lower part of the radiator on the truck giving us issues earlier today was plugged. I don't know how that's possible. We've blown it out, we've hosed it out, we blew it out here at the field, didn't seem to be an issue. Perhaps we don't have the accessibility to thoroughly get down into some of those crevices. He said based on the codes he was seeing that all of it was related to depowering based on engine temperature. I don't know that it ever got to extreme temperatures, but here we are. We'll have 3 trucks again tomorrow. We were on track to have 200 acres of corn picked here, I think, and now we'll be lucky to get 150. With all the stopping we've done, we've had to wait on trucks. Logistics are the most important part of harvest. 2 good things have shown up. First, the semi truck is back from the shop, and we've got the whole crew in here with us. Graham, Lenny, right there, Lenny, don't mess with things on the screen. Last time we did that, it took me a long time to figure out. Allie and baby Harrison. I think we've reached max capacity. Perhaps a child ago.
Go down! No.
The dust is hanging low as the sun goes down. All things considered, it's been a decent day of picking corn. We would have probably had this field done, over 50,000 bushels harvested, if we didn't have an hour and a half or 2 hours of breakdowns between the trucks and the elevator leg plugging. We're rolling pretty good now. We are loading this last truck here and calling it quits for the night. I'll check in with you guys in the morning. Come on, Dad.
Buzzer never went off.
I've been following you through the field since you started. I don't know why you never put your auger out. That was glorious. And not in a good way. There's probably 3 bushels of corn on his cap. Oh, man. It's a good thing he's the boss. Shovel time.
Shovel.
Why they have this on the cart? Dad and I have always wondered why they don't have some kind of funnel that returns all of that back into the top of the rotor. It would make perfect sense other than maybe letting moisture in. Yes, the better alternative would be to just not run the grain over the front of the hopper. Don't ask me, I'm just the grain cart guy. I was following him through the field. He never put his auger out. And he claimed that the grain tank full sensor never went off. I think he was probably listening to some Katy Perry or Britney Spears too loud and didn't hear it. Finally, the last pass of this field. Ironically, Dad's GPS is kicking on and off. That beeping is his combine showing up on my screen. Something's awry. Never seen that one before. It's annoying for me too. There's that beautiful blue truck getting ready to dump some corn. Oh, what a rig. He had to turn his radio down for approach. The big field we came from was really a place to test the fuel efficiency of this X9 combine. Normally with the old 13.5 liter engine that was in like a 780 or a 790 combine, we could not pick all of that and come home without fueling up. We picked all of that with one machine and came home with about 20% of our fuel tank left. Does it pay for the machine? No, not really. They are without a doubt more fuel efficient. It's been running great. Let's hope that this GPS issue resolves itself and we have another productive afternoon here around home. I cycled the battery. Says it's working. I bet that was really annoying for him. Okay. Glitch, possibly. Full tank to full tank, including about 30 miles of round trip road travel, 206 acres, 280 gallons in the tank. So we're at like 1.3 to 1.4. If you consider our own inefficiencies, because we're not perfect, I think the machine was probably running about 1 to 1.1 gallons an acre straight line picking corn. The rest comes from just any delinquency on our part and of course road travel. Pretty good. The 780 would have needed a lot of fuel. It would have been pretty much close to empty after the first 150 acres. Those things just suck the fuel down. They're good combines. They're pretty tried and true at this point. Just, again, thirsty dogs. Auger set to the last completely empty bin there, Jeff's, the North 36 footer. We've moved down to this field that was opened up 2 days ago. We're gonna pick it out. Hopefully it's 200 bushel corn. Someone informed me the other day that a better term for my whirlwind is a dust devil. I like that. They are kind of ornery too, especially when they always occur when it's dry during harvest. We're about done here. Average is holding in the low 200s. Yield did fall off a little bit. 200.85 bushels an acre dry. Corn was 13%. Drought took its toll. Our new cover crop program's off to a great start. A 2-inch rain will really green things up. Back to God's country to end the evening. We are going to pick just enough to open it up, fill the cart, shut down, and reevaluate tomorrow. Beautiful view. You got the combine running here, moon in the sky, and the nice side of a brand new substation. Initial report on this field from Operations Center, mid 230s on the first pass. I think there was some herbicide damage off of the neighbor, no big deal at all really. Second row in, it's bumping up 245 to 260. I'm going to end the video here because we're about to shut down. Hope you guys all tune in to the next one. I appreciate you all watching. I sure hope to see you again. Have a great day, everyone. Peace!